Marvel 2099 is the future. I wish it was the present because these heroes are actually far more badass than the originals in pretty much every case. But hey, Amanda talked about it last time, so we gotta add my jazz to it. Right? Fun fact, in Star Wars, jazz is called jizz. Look it up, I'm not kidding. Let's do it. And it's in Venom. While Venom is typically seen as a villain, okay, and it is very true for the Victor Stone version of Venom in 2099, this one is actually a hero. During a tragic maglev crash that claimed her mother's life and left her with severe burns on her left arm, Aaliyah Bell endured both physical and emotional scars. Raised by her father, she faced bullying at school due to her damage, and as a teenager, she became a candidate for an experimental treatment developed by Alchemax and Dr. Russell. While undergoing the treatment, she experienced visions of a dark ancient deity and individuals bonded to a living darkness. Upon awakening, Aaliyah discovered that the treatment had miraculously restored her arm, but she obviously knew that something was up. So, determined to uncover the truth, she infiltrated Alchemax and encountered public eye guards. To her horror, the symbiote that had been incepted within her intervened and killed the guards in order to protect her. Struggling with her self-perception and fearing that she was becoming a monster, she ended up shutting down a containment grid holding another piece of the symbiote. However, she was attacked and rendered unconscious by Dr. Russell. Upon awakening, Aaliyah found that the Venom symbiote had reassembled itself and consumed Dr. Russell as vengeance. It was mad at Dr. Russell, but Aaliyah actually expressed her desire to be good and use her powers for helping people instead of, giving into the symbiote's darker impulses, and she actually got the symbiote to agree. In at 9, Fantastic Four. In the year 2099, the Fantastic Four is the same Fantastic Four. And not even kidding. The Fantastic Four had found themselves transported to a different negative zone and now were donning new uniforms. Upon returning home, they had discovered a changed world where they were pursued by S.H.I.E.L.D. soldiers who believed them to be laboratory copies. During a confrontation with a Repo Man crew called Total Recall, a church devoted to the 20th century's Thor was destroyed. Seeking answers, the team sought refuge in an abandoned S.H.I.E.L.D. hideout and learned that the Stark Fujikawa Corporation had claimed them as experimental subjects. To prove their originality though, they sought the assistance of an Alchemax facility and encountered Spider-Man of this new century, who assisted Reed in studying their DNA. Unfortunately, the results were inconclusive due to the unique technology of 2099, leaving their authenticity in doubt. With the help of their friend Chimera though, who had come from the negative zone, they broke into their old headquarters at 4 Freedoms Plaza. However, their reunion was interrupted by an attack from River Styx, Chimera's demon brother, because everyone has to have a demon brother, right? And a group of S.H.I.E.L.D. soldiers. But yeah, the Fantastic Four of 2099 is the Fantastic Four of everywhere else. It's weird, but there you go. And it's Skullfire. Ooh. And no, this isn't a Ghost Rider person. This is just a separate thing. Tim Fitzgerald is a mutant and member of the Renegade X-Men who possesses the ability to redirect nearby energy sources. His life took a drastic turn when his powers were activated, accidentally leading to the death of his girlfriend. Devastated, he became homeless until he was approached by Shaki Haddad, who introduced him to the X-Men, a group of mutant fugitives led by a man that resisted oppressive corporate ideologies. Initially cautious with his violent abilities, Tim's perspective changed after encountering the enigmatic La Lunatica, embracing the darker aspect of his powers. With Jan's betrayal, the leader of the team, Tim emerged as a leadership figure to confront his former mentor. As mutants found sanctuary in Halo City, Tim's connection with death deepened. He was mortally wounded in a battle against the Grave Robber, but was revived as an undead being. When Halo City faced a new threat, Tim's physical body was destroyed by Vulcan the Bloodsmith, but he transcended mortality, evolving into an energy being. But that's kinda dope, being pure energy. And it's 7, Black Widow. This Black Widow is far different from the original. Tanya, who's this Black Widow, was a serial killer known for consuming her victims after intimate encounters. No, I am not even kidding. Alchemax CEO Miguel Stone approached her to join the Avengers team, adopting the codename Black Widow. But when there was an assassination attempt against Roberta Mendez, the team was sent to investigate Martin Hargood, suspected of hiring the assassin. They confronted Hargood at Latverian Cuisine, where a confrontation with the vigilante known as the Hulk ensued. The battle attracted the attention of the Defenders, Hulk's teammates, leading to a clash between the two groups, but after resolving their differences, the teams returned to the Alchemax Tower with Hargood for interrogation. Meanwhile, Tanya spent a night with a man that she had dated before receiving the mission call, consuming his arm. That actually happened. She also then confirmed the suspicions of Miguel and Sunny that she was a cannibal who consumed her lovers, but despite her unsettling actions, she reluctantly accepted another mission, frustrated that she had to work immediately after her meal. But the fact that she is literally a Black Widow is just so freaking funny. And at 6, Doom. Okay, look, I get that Dr. Doom is a villain, but hear me out. Doom launched a devastating invasion of the United States using the floating city of Valhalla, now known as Libertacilio, and he ruthlessly destroyed the Angel Breath headquarters, the Senate, and even infiltrated the White House, forcing the former president to take his own life, and then assuming that mantle as the new president. Doom was actually a pretty solid leader. He formed his Black Cabinet with individuals like Indigo Ashun, Nikmara, Morphine Summers, and Sharp Blue taking up key positions. He dissolved previous security forces and re-established a revamped SHIELD with Jake Gallows at its head. In Transverse City, Doom enlisted the help of the 2099 Ghost Rider as the federal marshal to maintain order. He implemented widespread changes, introduced dive booths for cyberspace connection, establishing the National Corporation of Cynics, and punished CEOs of previously corrupt corporations. Under his rule, citizens' credit levels were downgraded, their debt was downgraded is a better way to say that, and CEOs were forced to choose amongst themselves like who would be executed, which I mean isn't a good thing, but he also like wiped out corruption. He made it basically a utopia in the United States, which is insane to think of. Like, what the hell? I mean, like, although he was affected by hallucinogens at some point, Doom was a good leader for the time. We gotta look at the bright sides, alright? We love a man who takes charge. Halfway through to number 5, Moon Knight. In the late 21st century, Attilan became a refuge for both the Inhumans and Earth's immigrant population. During this time, the enigmatic Moon Knight emerged as a guardian, known for his spectral presence and vigilante pursuit of justice. While pursuing a group of thieves, Moon Knight also inadvertently trespassed into the forbidden citadel of the Watcher. There, she discovered that the Watcher had created a group known as the alleged Fantastic Four, who had recently arrived in the year 2099, but was concerned that they hadn't actually portrayed their history accurately. However, Moon Knight successfully persuaded the Watcher to grant the Fantastic Four a chance to fulfill their heroic legacies before, undoing their existence, allowing them to live on. We don't know who this Moon Knight is exactly, but damn if they're not just as badass as Mark Spector in 2099. I'ma keep it here. In at 4, Hawkeye. Max, last name unknown, underwent an Alchemax, ironically, experiment that fused his DNA with that of a hawk. Yes, Hawkeye is literally Hawkeye in this universe, future, reality, and it gave him enhanced abilities. Alchemax CEO Miguel Stone recruited him to join their Avengers team, where he adopted the codename of Hawkeye, and when Roberta Mendez's life was threatened, the team was sent to investigate Martin Hargood. I already explained all of that. The fight ended up attracting the Hulk and then the Defenders and Hulk's allies, and then they had to fight and all this blah blah blah. In the midst of Hercules and Submariner's dispute over Valkyrie, Max, Hawkeye, suggested a drinking contest to settle their conflict, leading to both of them getting drunk, which is the best storyline resolution that Marvel has ever thought of. Miguel offered the Defenders a place in Alchemax, but they declined, leading to their classification as criminals due to operating outside of the corporation's authority. That moniker was removed. They're no longer outlaws, but yeah, I just like it because Hawkeye is literally combined with a hawk. Then at 3, Dr. Anthony Stark. Yeah, okay, Tony Stark? Tony Stark and a group of individuals were actually able to persuade world leaders to redirect military funds toward improving the world. I know, this is how you know it's a comic book, because this would never happen in real life. But by the year of 2099 AD, Tony Stark had ascended to become the Sorcerer Supreme of the entire galaxy. However, when Tempest, believing that she had traveled to her family's reality, Earth TRN 640, arrived in the future, she learned from Anthony Stark that her timeline had been erased and that she could never return. Together they ventured to Tabula Rasa, where Tony convinced her to embrace her true timeline. Meanwhile, Tony reached reached out to the Iron Man of the past, Victor Von Doom, warning him to relinquish the Iron Man mantle to avoid capture. Unfortunately, their communication was abruptly severed before Tony could provide further details about the impending circumstances. But yeah, Tony is the Sorcerer Supreme, which is pretty freaking dope. But ultimately, in at number 2, Black Panther. Kashamba is the King of Wakanda and the Black Panther of 2099, and not much is known about him, but we can infer various things through his other versions. For example, on Earth 2149, Kashamba was the son of T'Challa and the grandson of King T'Challa and Queen Lisa Hendricks. He was scared when his grandfather became a zombie, though he reminded Kashamba that appearances can be deceiving. Malcolm Cortez promised to kill Kashamba when he became older so that he could become the new King of Wakanda. There is also the T'Chamba of Earth 2099. According to The Watcher, Earth 2099 was a reality that was rewritten and rewoven from various disparate timelines like Earth 928 and Earth 16356 and Earth 23291, which this 2099 Earth was created when Doom rewrote reality of 2099 and our reality of 2019, which erased the memories of heroes and villains alike, granting the creation of other versions like the good version of Venom. And finally, in at number 1, the Hulk. The Hulk's badass. There you go. He's just as badass in 2099. Thanks for watching. That's it. Why are you still here? Click the video.